Welcome to the Way of the Taibhsear podcast. This is episode 30, The Sons of Tuireann, Part 1. This week's Celtic god is Brish. Brish was a king of the Tuireann, or the children of the goddess Danu. It is said that he grew so quickly that he was twice the size of most children his age. As a king, he enslaved the Tuireann. He also committed the cardinal sin of neglecting his duties of hospitality. The poet Taibhsear wrote satires about him and sung them all over Ireland. After this, his reign continued to be plagued with one disaster after another. It was said that Taibhsear's satires had cursed him. The animal associated with Brish is the fox, and his sacred plant is the hickory tree. Although he was considered quite handsome, his lack of hospitality and his poor treatment of his subjects made Brish the god of tyranny and bad examples. Invoke Brish in matters of treachery and tyranny. If Brish has come into your life, you may be in danger of becoming inhospitable, or it could mean that someone is attempting to enslave you by bending you to their will. The Sons of Tuireann. On last week's podcast, we finished the story of the coming of Lugh. When we left off, Brish and Baelor were sailing for Chower to the throne Nua and to do battle against Baelor's grandson, Lugh. On today's podcast, we begin Book 2 of the story, The Sons of Tuireann, from Of Gods and Fighting Men by Lady Gregory. And Lugh of the Long Hand was at that time at Chower with the king of Ireland, and it was showed to him that the former were after landing at Asdara. And when he knew that, he made ready Manannan's horse, Anavir. And at the time of the battle of the day and night, he went where Nua the king was, and told him how the former had landed at Asdara, and had spoiled Bobdog's country. And it is what I want, he said, to get help from you to give battle to them. But Nua was not minded to avenge the destruction that was done on Bobdog, and not on himself, and Lugh was not well pleased with his answer, and he went riding out of Chower westward. And presently he saw 3 armed men coming towards him, his own father Cian, with his brothers Cu and Cethan. And there were the 3 sons of Cante, and they saluted him. "What is the cause of your early rising?" they said. "It is a good cause I have for it," said Lugh, "for the former are come into Ireland, and have robbed Bobdog." "And what help will you give me against them?" he said. "Each of us will keep off 100 from you in the battle," said they. "That is a good help," said Lugh. "But there is a help I would sooner have from you than that, to gather the riders of the Sidhe to me from every place where they are." So Cu and Cathan went towards the south, and Cian set out northward, and he did not stop till he reached the plain of Mirthemne. And as he was going across the plain, he saw 3 armed men before him, that were the 3 sons of Tuireann, son of Ogma. And it is the way it was between the 3 sons of Tuireann and the 3 sons of Cante. They were in hatred and enmity towards one another, so that whenever they met, there was sure to be fighting among them. Then Cian said, "If my 2 brothers had been here, it is a brave fight we would make. But since they are not, it is best for me to fall back." Then he saw a great herd of pigs near him, and he struck himself with a druid rod that put on him the shape of a pig of the herd, and he began rooting up in the ground like the rest. Then Brian, one of the sons of Tuireann, said to his brothers, "Did you see that armed man that was walking the plain a while ago?" "We did see him," said they. "Do you know what it was took him away?" said Brian. "We do not know that," said they. "It is a pity you do not be keeping a better watch over the plains of this open country in a time of war," said Brian. "And I know well what happened to him, for he struck himself with his druid rod into the shape of a pig of these pigs, and he's rooting up the ground now, like any one of them, and whoever he is no friend to us." "That's bad for us," said the other 2, "for the pigs belong to some one of the Tua de Danann, and even if we did kill them all, the druid pig might chance to escape us in the end." "It is badly you got your learning in the City of Learning," said Brian, "for you cannot tell an enchanted beast from a natural beast." And while he was saying that, he struck his 2 brothers with his druid rod, and he turned them into 2 thin, fast hounds, and they began to yelp sharply on the track of the enchanted pig. And it was not long before the pig fell out from among the others, and not one of the others made way, but only himself. And it made for a wood, and at the edge of the wood Brian gave a cast of his spear that went through its body. And the pig cried out and said, "It's a bad thing you have done to have made a cast at me when you knew me." "It seems you have the talk of a man," said Brian. "I was a man indeed," said he. "I am Cian, son of Cante, and give me your protection now." "I swear by the gods of the air," said Brian, "that if the life came back 7 times to you, I would take it from you every time." "If that is so," said Cian, "give me one request. Let me go into my own shape again." "We will do that," said Brian, "for it's easier to kill a man than a pig." So Cian took his own shape then, and he said, "Give me mercy now." "We will not give it," said Brian. "Well, I have got the better of you for all that," said Cian. "For it was in the shape of a pig you had killed me, there would be no blood money for a pig on me. But as it is, in my own shape, you will kill me. Then never was there, and never will there be, any person killed, for whose sake a heavier fine will be paid than for myself. And the arms I am killed with," he said, "it is they that will tell the deed to my son." "It is not with weapons you will be killed, but with the stones lying on the ground," said Brian. And with that they pelted him with stones, fiercely and roughly, till all that was left of him was a poor, miserable, broken heap. And they buried him the depth of a man's body in the earth, and the earth would not receive that murder from them, but cast it up again. Brian said it should go into the earth again, and they put it in the ground the 2nd time, and the 2nd time the earth would not take it. And 6 times the sons of Tuireann buried the body, and 6 times it was cast up again. But on the 7th it was put underground, and the earth kept it. And then when they went to join Lugh of the Long Hand for the battle, Now as to Lu, upon parting with his father he went forth from Chaur westward, to the hills that were called afterwards Garek and Ilgarek, and to the ford of the Shannon, that is now called Althlane, and Berna na Erdena, the gap of separation, and over Mag Lurig, the plain of following, and to Cor Shlave Nageshla, the round mountain of the poet's spring, and to the head of Shan Shlave, and through the place of the bright-faced Koran, and from there to Magmor and Earnag, the great plain of the fair, where the former were, and the spoils of Connachta with them. It is then Bresh, son of Ethelin, rose up and said, It is a wonder to me that the sun be rising in the west today, and it is rising in the east every other day. It would be better for us it to be the sun, said the Druids. What else is it? Said he. It is the shining of the face of Lu, son of Ethelin, said they. Lu came up to them then, and saluted them. Why do you come like a friend to us? Said they. There is good cause for that, he said. For there is but one half of me of the Tuatha, and the other half of yourselves. And give me back now the milk cows of the men of Ireland, he said. May early good luck not come to you till you get either a dry or a milk cow here, said a man of them, and angered on him. But Lu stopped near him for 3 days and 3 nights, and at the end of that time the riders of the Sidhe came to him, and Bobdarg, son of the Dagda, came with 2,900 men, and he said, What is the cause of your delay in giving battle? Waiting for you I was, said Lu. Then the kings and the chief of the men of Ireland took their armor on them, and they raised the points of their spears over their heads, and they made close fences of their shields, and then they attacked their enemies on Magmoran Agnach, and their enemies answered them, and they threw their whining spears at one another, and when their spears were broken they drew their swords from their blue-bordered sheaths, and began to strike at one another, and thickets of brown flames rose above them from the bitterness of the many-edged weapons. And Lu saw the battle-pen where Bresh, the son of Ethelin, was, and he made a fierce attack on him, and on the men that were guarding him, till he had made an end to 200 of them. When Bresh saw that, he gave himself up to Lu's protection. Give me my life this time, he said, and I will bring the whole race of the former to fight it out with you in a great battle. And I bind myself to that by the sun and the moon, the sea and the land, he said. On that Lu gave him his life, and then the Druids that were with him asked his protection for themselves. By my word, said Lu, if the whole race of the former went under my protection, they would not be destroyed by me. So then Bresh and the Druids set out for their own country. Now as to Lu and the Sons of Tuireann, after the battle of Magmor on Eanach, he met 2 of his kinsmen and asked them, did they see his father in the fight? We did not, said they. I'm sure he's not living, said Lu, and I give my word, he said, that there will be no food or drink go into my mouth till I shall get the knowledge by what death my father died. Then he set out, and the riders of the Sidhe after him, till they came to the place where he and his father parted from one another, and from that to the place where his father went into the shape of a pig, when he saw the Sons of Tuireann. And when Lu came to that place, the earth spoke to him, and it said, It is in great danger your father was here, Lu, when he saw the Sons of Tuireann before him, and as into the shape of a pig he had to go, but it is in his own shape that they killed him. Then Lu told that to his people, and he found the spot where his father was buried, and he bade them to dig there, the way he would know by what death the sons of Tuireann had made an end of him. Then they raised the body out of the grave and looked at it, and it was all one bed of wounds. And Lu said, "It was the death of an enemy the sons of Tuireann gave my dear father." And he gave him 3 kisses, and it is what he said. "It is bad the way I am myself after this death, for I can hear nothing with my ears, and I can see nothing with my eyes. And there's not a living pulse in my heart, with grief after my father. And you gods I worship," he said, "it's a pity I did not have to come here this time this thing was done. And it's a great thing that has been done here," he said. "The people of the gods of Dana to have done treachery to one another, and it is long that they will be under the loss by it, and be weakened by it. And Ireland will never be free from trouble, from this out east and west," he said. Then they put Cian under the earth again. And after that there was keening made over his grave, and a stone was placed on it, and his name was written in the Ogham. And Lu said, "This hill will take its name from Cian, although he himself is stripped and broken. And it was the sons of Tuireann did this thing," he said. "And there will grief and anguish fall upon them for it, and on their children after them. And it is no lie I am telling you," he said. "And it is a pity the way that I am, and my heart is broken in my breast, since Cian, this brave man, is not living." Then he bade his people to go before him to Chawer. "But do not tell the story till I tell it myself," he said. And when Lu came to Chawer, he sat in the high seat of the king, and he looked about him, and he saw the 3 sons of Tuireann. And those who were the 3 that were there beyond all the others at Chawer at that time, for quickness and skill, for a good hand in battle, for beauty and an honorable name. Then Lu bade his people to shake the chain of silence, and they did so, and they all listened to him. And Lu said, "What are your minds fixed on at this time, men of Dea?" "On yourself indeed," said they. "I have a question to ask you," he said. "What is the vengeance each one of you would take on the man that would kill your father?" There was a great wonder on them when they heard that, and one of the chief men among them said, "Tell us, was it your own father that was killed?" "It was indeed," said Lu. "And I see now in this house," he said, "the men that killed him. And they know themselves what way they killed him better than I know it." Then the king said, "It is not the death of one day only that I would give to a man who had killed my father, if he was in my power, but to cut off one of his limbs from day to day, till I would make an end of him." And all the chief men said the same, and the sons of Tuireann like the rest. "There are making that answer," said Lu, "the 3 men that killed my father, and let them pay the fine for him now, since you are all together in one place. And if they will not," he said, "I will not break the protection of the king's house, but they must make no attempt to quit this house till they have settled with me." "If it was I myself had killed your father," said the king, "I would be well content with you to take a fine from me for him." "It is at us Lu is saying all of this," said the sons of Tuireann among themselves. "Let us acknowledge the killing of his father to him," said Lucar and Luchabara. "I am in dread," said Brian, "that it is wanting an acknowledgment from us he is, in the presence of all the rest, and that he will not let us off with a fine afterwards." "It is best to acknowledge it," said the others, "and let you speak it out, since you are the eldest." Then Brian, son of Tuireann, said, "It's at us you are speaking, Lugh. For you are thinking we went against the sons of Cante before now, and we did not kill your father," he said. "But we will pay the fine for him, the same as if we did kill him." "I will take a fine from you that you do not think of," said Lugh. "And I will say here what it is, and if it's too much for you, I will let you off a share of it." "Let us hear it from you," said they. "Here it is," said Lugh. 3 apples, the skin of a pig, and a spear, 2 horses and a chariot, 7 pigs and a dog's whelp, and a cooking spit, and 3 shouts on a hill. That is the fine I am asking," he said. "And if it is too much for you, a part of it will be taken off of you presently, and if you do not think it is too much, then pay it." "It's not too much," said Brian, "or 100 times of it would not be too much. And we think it likely," he said, "because of its smallness, that you have some treachery towards us behind it." "I do not think it too little a fine," said Lugh, "and I give you the guarantee of the Tuatha I will ask no other thing, and I will be faithful to you, and let you give the same pledge to me." "It's a pity that you ask that," said Brian, "for our own pledge is as good as any pledge in the world." "Your own pledge is not enough," said Lugh, "for it is often the like of you promise to pay a fine in this way, and would try to back out of it after." So then the sons of Tuireann bound themselves by the king of Ireland and by the Babdarg, son of the Dagda, and by the chief men of the Tuatha that they would pay that fine to Lugh. "It would be well for me now," said Lugh, "to give you better knowledge of the fine." "It would be well indeed," said they. "This is the way of it then," said Lugh. "The 3 apples I ask of you are the 3 apples from the garden in the east of the world. And no other apples will do but these, for they are the most beautiful and have the most virtue in them of the apples of the whole world. And it is what they are like. They are of the color of burned gold, and they are the size of the head of a child a month old. And there is the taste of honey on them, and they do not leave the pain of wounds or the vexation of sickness on anyone that eats them, and they do not lessen by eating forever. And the skin I ask of you," he said, "is the pigskin of Tuis, king of Greece, and it heals all the wounds and all the sickness of the world. And whatever danger a man may be in, if it can but overtake the life in him, it will cure him. And as the way of it with that pig, every stream of water it would go through would be turned into wine to the end of 9 days after, and every wound it touched was healed. And it is what the Druids of Greece said, that it is not in itself the virtue was, but in the skin. And they skinned it, and the skin is there ever since. And I think, too, that it will not be easy for you to get it, with or without leave." "And do you know what it is, the spear that I am asking of you?" "We do not," said they. "It is a very deadly spear, belonging to the king of Persia, the Luin it is called, and every choice thing is done by it, and its head is kept steeped in a vessel of water, the way it will not burn down the place where it is, and it will be hard to get it. And do you know what the 2 horses and what chariot I am asking of you? They are the chariot and the 2 wonderful horses of Dobar, king of Ciagar. And the sea is the same as the land to them, and there are no faster horses than themselves, and there is no chariot equal to that one in shape and in strength. And do you know what are the 7 pigs I ask of you? They are the pigs of Esau, king of the golden pillars. And though they are killed every night, they are found alive on the next day, and there will be no disease or sickness on any person that will eat a share of them. And the whelp I ask of you is violate, the whelp belonging to the king of Ered, the cold country. And all the wild beasts of the world would fall down at the sight of her, and she is more beautiful than the sun in his fiery wheels, and it will be very hard to get her. And the cooking spit I ask of you is a spit of the spits of the women of Enish Kenfena, the island of Cair, of the fair hair. And the 3 shouts you are to give on a hill must be given on the hill of Meochanan, in the north of Lachlan. And Meochanan and his sons are under bonds not to allow any shouts to be given on that hill. And it was with them that my father got his learning. And if I would forgive you his death, then they would not forgive you. And if you get through all of your other voyages before you reach to them, it is my opinion that they themselves will avenge him on you. And that is the fine that I have asked of you, said Lu. There was silence and darkness on the sons of Tuireann when they heard that. And they went to where their father was, and told him the fine that had been put on them. It is bad news, that is, said Tuireann, and it is to your death and to your destruction you will be going, looking for those things. But for all that, if Lu himself had a mind to help you, you could go work out the fine, and all of the men of the world could not do it but by the power of Mannanan or Lu. Go then and ask the loan of Mananan's horse, the Anvar, from Lu, and if he has any wish to get the fine, he will give it to you. But if he does not wish it, he will say the horse is not his, and that he would not give you the loan of a loan. Then ask him for the loan of Mananan's coracle, the Squab-Tuan, the sweeper of the waves. And if he will give that, for he is under bonds not to refuse a second request, and the coracle is better for you than the horse, he said. So the sons of Tuireann went to where Lu was, and they saluted him. And they said they could not bring him the fine without his own help, and for that reason it would be well for them to get a loan of the Anvar. I have that horse on loan myself, said Lu, and I will not give a loan of a loan. If that is so, give us the loan of Mananan's coracle, said Brian. I will give that, said Lu. What place is it? Said they. At Brunaboyne, said Lu. Then they went back again to where Tuireann was, and his daughter Ethic, their sister, with him, and they told him that they had got the coracle. It's not much better that you will be for it, said Tuireann. Although Lu would like well to get every part of this fine he could make use of before the battle with the former, but he would like yourselves to come to your death looking for it. Then they went away, and they left Tuireann sorrowful and lamenting, and Ethne went forth with them to where the coracle was. And Brian got into it, and he said, There is place but for one other person along with me here. And he began to find fault with its narrowness. You ought not to be faulting the coracle, said Ethne. And oh, my dear brother, she said, it is a bad thing you did to kill the father of Lu of the Long Hand. And whatever harm may come to you from it, it is but just. Do not say that, Ethne, he said, for we are in good heart, and we will do brave deeds. And we would sooner be killed 100 times over, they said, than to meet the death of cowards. My grief, said Ethne, There is nothing more sorrowful than this, to see you driven out from your own country." Then the three pushed out in their coracle from the beautiful clear-eyed shore of Ireland. "What course shall we take first?" said they. "We will go to look for the apples," said Brian, "as they were the first thing we were bade to bring. And so we ask of you, coracle of the Manannan that is under us, to sail to the garden in the east of the world." And the coracle did not neglect that order, but it sailed forward over the green-sided waves and the deep places, till it came to its harbor in the east of the world. And then Brian asked his brothers, "What way have you a mind to get into the garden? For I think," he said, "the king's champions and the fighting men of the country are always guarding it, and the king himself is chief over them." "What should we do," said his brothers, "but to make straight at them and attack them, and bring away the apples or fall ourselves, since we cannot escape from these dangers that are before us without meeting our own death in some place?" "It would be better," said Brian, "the story of our bravery and our craftiness to be told and to live after us, than folly and cowardice to be told of us. And what is best for us to do now," he said, "is to go in the shape of swift hawks into the garden, and the watchers have but their light spears to throw at us, and let you take good care to keep out of their reach. And if they have thrown them all, make a quick flight to the apples, and each of us to bring away an apple in our claws, and I will bring away the third." They said that that was a good advice, and Brian struck himself and the others with his druid rod, and changed them into beautiful hawks. And they flew towards the garden, and the watchers took notice of them, and shouted on every side of them, and threw showers of spears and darts, but the hawks kept out of their reach, as Brian had bade them, till all the spears were spent, and then they swept down bravely on the apples, and brought them away with them, without so much as a wound. And the news went through the city and the whole district, and the king had 3 wise crafty daughters, and they put themselves in the shape of 3 ospreys, and they followed the hawks to the sea, and sent flashes of lightning before them and after them, scorching them greatly. "It is a pity the way we are now," said the sons of Tuireann, "for we will be burned through and through with the lightning if we do not get some relief." "If I can give you relief, I will do it," said Brian. With that he struck himself and the brothers with the druid rod, and they were turned into 3 swans. And they went down quickly into the sea, and the ospreys went away from them then. And the sons of Tuireann went into their boat. After that they consulted together, and it is what they agreed, to go to Greece, and to bring away the skin of the pig, with or without leave. So they went forward till they came near to the court of the king of Greece. "What appearance shall we put on us going there?" said Brian. "What appearance should we go in but our own?" said the others. "That's not what I think is best," said Brian, "but to go in with the appearance of poets from Ireland, the way the high people of Greece will hold us in respect and honor." "It would be hard for us to do that," they said, "and we without a poem, and it is little we know how to make one." However, they put the poet's tie on their hair, and they knocked at the door of the court, and the doorkeeper asked who was in it. "We are the poets of Ireland," said Brian, "and we are come with a poem to the king." The doorkeeper went in and told the king that there were poets from Ireland at the door. "Let them in," said the king, "for it is in search of a good man they came so far from their own country." And the king gave orders that everything should be well set out in the court, that they would say that they had been no place so grand in all of their travels. So the sons of Tuireann were let in then, having the appearance of poets, and they fell to drinking and pleasure without delay. And they thought that they had never seen, and there was not in the world, a court so good as that, or so large a household, or a place where they had met with better treatment. Then the king's poets got up to give their poems and songs, and then Brian, son of Tuireann, bade his brothers to say a poem for the king. "We have no poem," said they, "and do not ask any poem of us, but the one we know before, and that is to take what we want by the strength of our hand, if we are the strongest, or to fall by those that are against us, if they are the strongest." "That's not a good way to make a poem," said Brian, and with that he rose up himself and asked a hearing. And they all listened to him, and this is what he said. "O Tuis, we did not hide your fame. We praise you as the oak among kings, the skin of a pig, bounty without hardness. This is the reward I ask for it. The war of a neighbor against an ear, the fair ear of his neighbor will be against him. He who gives us what he owns, his court will not be the scarcer for it. A raging army and a sudden sea are a danger to whoever goes against them. The skin of a pig, bounty without hardness. This is the reward I ask, O Tuis." "That is a good poem," said the king, "but I do not know a word of its meaning." "I will tell you its meaning," said Brian. "O Tuis, we did not hide your fame. We praise you as the oak king above the kings. That is, as the oak is beyond the kingly trees of the wood, so are you beyond the kings of the world for open-handedness and grandeur. The skin of a pig, bounty without hardness. That is, the skin of a pig you own, is what I would wish to get from you as a reward for my poem. The war of a neighbor against an ear, the fair ear of his neighbor will be against him. That is, you and I will be by the ears about the skin, unless I get it with your consent." "And that is the meaning of the poem," said Brian. "I would praise your poem," said the king, "if there was not so much about my pigskin in it. And you have no good sense, man of poetry," he said, "to be asking that thing of me. And the people of my court never showed greater respect for poetry than now, when they did not put you to death on the spot." When Brian heard that talk from the king, he thought of the apple that was in his hand, and he made a straight cast and hit him in the forehead, so that his brains were put out at the back of his head. And he bared the sword and made an attack on the people about him. And the other two did not fail to do the same, and they gave him their help bravely until they had made an end of all they met of the people of the court. And then they went and found the spear, and its head in a cauldron of water, the way it would not set fire to the place. And after a while they said it was time for them to go and look for the rest of the great find that was on them, and they asked one another what way should they go. "We will go to the king of the island of Cian," said Brian, "for it is with him are the 2 horses and the chariot the Ildonic asked of us." They went forward then and brought the spear with them, and it is proud the 3 champions were, after all they had done. And they went on until they were come to the court of the king of Cian. "It is what we will do this time," said Brian. "We will go in with the appearance of paid soldiers from Ireland, and we will make friends with the king, the way we will get to know him and the place with the horses and the chariot, and where they are kept." And when they had settled on that, they went forward to the lawn before the king's house. The king and the chief men that were there with him rose up, and came through the fair to see what was going on there. And they saluted the king, and he asked who they were. "We are trained fighting men from Ireland," they said. "We are earning wages from the kings of the world." "Is it your wish to stop with me for a while?" said the king. "That is what we are wanting," said they. So they made an agreement and took service with him. Next week, we'll read part 2 of the Sons of Tuireann. The Awen of Water meditation is used to seek the Awen in matters associated with learning, teaching, and chronicling. It is helpful when you seek a season of new learning and education in your life. The Awen of Water meditation is particularly useful when learning matters concerned with culture, history, and your own ancestry. The direction of water is the west. It may help when performing this meditation to face west if possible. This meditation is especially powerful if done while sitting by a body of water, such as a river, a lake, or an ocean. The season associated with the Awen of the water is autumn. As you begin this meditation, visualize the sunrise on the first day of autumn. Begin with a few quiet, deep breaths. See the colors of fall in your mind's eye. The deep golds, reds, and yellows tell the story of the trees. The leaves have passed through the seasons and will soon be falling. Their passing will chronicle everything they have experienced since budding and newborn in the previous spring. The Awen of Water is the Awen of learning. Like the falling leaves of autumn, the Awen of Water is the wisdom and inspiration of passing through many seasons and learning the lessons each has to teach. The Awen of the Water is the Awen of growth and love. True wisdom always leads to love. Hatred is fear, and fear is ignorance. So the more you gain in learning and wisdom, the more your heart and spirit will naturally turn towards love. What can the Awen of Water teach you about casting aside fear and hatred and turning towards love? How can you shed your fears like the trees shed their leaves in the autumn? What knowledge and wisdom would you need to seek in order to do so? As you allow the inspiration of the Awen of Water into your own consciousness, ponder the meaning of your own personal truths. How could the Awen of Water lead you to knowledge of your own personal truths? The Awen of Water is the Awen of the laborer in the field. The way of the laborer is to achieve success through hard work and effort. What effort do you need to put forth in order to grow in knowledge and wisdom? What teachings can the Awen of Water lead you to? how much you work with these new teachings to grow in your own personal truths. How much you work with this new wisdom to grow in love. The Awan of water is ruled by the Dagda. He is known as the good god and the All-Father of the Irish gods. He is the father and protector of the tribe. He is known by many names. One of these names is Rua Rafosa, the Lord of Great Knowledge. He is the many-skilled creator god of the Celtic peoples. The Dagda carries a war club that can kill 9 men with a single blow. But the handle of this club can restore a person to life. This club of the Dagda contains within it the mysteries of life and death. The Dagda also carries a cauldron called Kore Unsik. This is a cauldron of plenty from which no one ever left unsatisfied. What is your war club? What knowledge or wisdom do you possess that has the power to destroy or to heal? How can the Awan of water inspire you to use this war club for the good of the tribe? What mysteries of life and death could the Awan of water reveal to you? Danu's gift from the Awan of water is the cauldron of the Dagda. It's a symbol of feminine power and energy. It is a cauldron of plenty from which no one ever goes away hungry. It is also the source of divine inspiration, and it has the power to restore life and to purify. What is your cauldron of plenty? What bounty of wisdom and inspiration can the Awan of water bring to you? What inspiration do you offer to others? What feminine energies are influencing your life now? What is your relationship to them? Are you at peace or at war with these feminine energies? How might the Awan of water help your relationship to these energies change for the better? How might the cauldron of plenty aid you in your quest for inspiration and wisdom? As this meditation on the Awan of water draws to a close, give thanks to Danu and to the Dada for the cauldron of plenty they have bestowed upon you. Give thanks to Caridwen for the inspiration within the cauldron. When you are ready, end this meditation, knowing that you have received the wisdom of Caridwen's potion of inspiration that flows from the Dada's cauldron. The Green Corner. Sustainable transportation. Solar-powered vehicles. One of the great dreams of the alternative energy revolution is to create a car that runs totally on solar power. Unfortunately, with our present state of technological development, cars that run only on sunlight must remain a dream for now. The principle behind a solar vehicle is to create enough electricity to drive the car by converting sunlight into electricity through the use of photovoltaic cells. The problem is that the amount of energy available to run a vehicle depends on the surface area of the car itself. More surface area exposed to sun means more sunlight and therefore more electricity. But it also means added weight. And added weight means more electricity is needed to move that weight. There's an optimal ratio of surface area to operating weight, and at the present time that ratio only allows for a one-person vehicle. Most solar-only vehicles that are seen in competitions and at universities are basically glorified bicycles with no room for passengers or cargo. By putting batteries on board the vehicle, additional stored energy is available for the motor, but once again the batteries contribute to the overall weight of the vehicle. There's also another problem to consider. If you leave the batteries off the vehicle in order to conserve weight, if there are no batteries at all on the vehicle, then it can only operate when the sun is shining. This means that if you're out on a date in your solar car, you have to be home before sunset, and don't even think about going on a date on a rainy day. Races for solar-powered vehicles like the World Solar Channel and the North American Solar Challenge promote the use of solar vehicles by offering a yearly competition where the best and brightest, no pun intended, of solar engineers throughout the world can show their stuff. While the designs on these state-of-the-art solar vehicles are aesthetically pleasing, they do leave a lot to be desired in terms of practical highway use. The main problem with having the solar cells attached directly to the vehicle is that the photovoltaics work best when facing the sun. Since vehicles constantly move, the cells on these cars will very rarely be at an optimal angle for power generation. In terms of efficiency, if solar-powered cells were to be used at all, it would be better for them to remain in a stationary location facing the sun while charging. So if solar-powered vehicles were to become a reality, it would be far more practical to charge these vehicles by leaving the solar panels at a fixed location. These solar panels would then have a hookup that could be attached to the car to charge the onboard battery pack while the vehicle is not in use. Although the days of onboard photovoltaics vehicles are still a long way off in the future, if at all possible, that doesn't mean that we can't operate electric vehicles by using sunlight. It just means having the solar panel as a separate filling station, no different from buying gasoline today. You've been listening to the Way of the Taibhsear podcast on International Pagan Radio, where it's all pagan all the time. This has been episode 30, Sons of Tuireann, part 1. The Awen of Water meditation featured on this episode is from the album Druid Meditations on the Awen, available at Amazon and iTunes, and at International Pagan Radio's website at internationalpaganradio.com. The Way of the Taibhsear is the official podcast of the Order of the Taibhsear. You can learn more about us at taibhsear.com. That's taibhsear.com. The Way of the Taibhsear is a podcast about Druidry and paganism, as practiced by the Order of the Taibhsear. Paganism is a wide and diverse community, and we don't claim to speak for all pagans. You can get in touch with us at the show at podcast@taibhsear.com. That's podcast@taibhsear.com. The Way of the Taibhsear is sponsored by Elder Grove Seminary, offering the best in pagan education with online bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in ministry and divinity. Learn more about Elder Grove Seminary at eldergrove.org. Until next time, blessings of the ancestors.